That's right, you are now listening to Tommy Tom's One Mic. Warning, this podcast contains explicit language, triggering or sensitive topics, and controversial discussions. Thank you so much for tuning in to Tommy Tom's One Mic.
I don't know about you all, but I'm ready for spring. Let's hit the intro. Let's go.
Alrighty. And in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, 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 hey guys. Welcome back to Tommy Tom and One Mic. I like the guy. Good friends.
You do not feel hampered at all by what life is throwing at you.
Yeah, man, the energy from the crowd is like so much. You can see that people are happy to be out and enjoying the music.
That reminds me, not fucked up, but how is your sexy mom?
What was it? Wife in the fridge?
The Keebler out with beer.
At one point in time, I lit a flare in my hands to attempt to stay warm. But
I feel you. That's why I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna be fuck it.
Let's hit the mic.
Welcome back, everybody, to Tommy Tom and One Mic. And today, I'm bringing to you guys, I guess you can say, a little retro episode. I had done a couple episodes, prior to, I guess, me releasing all of this. And I thought it only right that I share some of them with you. Now, you could just watch the, podcast. And if you do, hey, please, I like and subscribe to this one, as there is no real, I guess you could say, video for this one. But I wanted to release these ones because, to be honest, they were fun. And in this episode, I had a great conversation with my friend Amber, aka Fluffy, and we talked about theater and acting and everything and that sorts of what she is a part of. And it was something that I wanted to release and share with all of you again. So I hope you enjoy this episode, and I'll catch you all next week with another video episode with my good friend, Mr. Kevin Burnside Jr. Hey guys, welcome back to Tommy Tom and One Mic. And today I have a very fluffy guest. Of course, that is the nickname I bestowed upon her so many years ago. I figured, I had to get this person on. Let's talk a little actor, I guess you can say.
Sure.
Sure.
Sure, we'll call it that.
We'll call it that. But theater sensation, Miss Amber Schmidt. I did say the last name right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. I always have to check that with people. I'm like, my
That's pretty good.
Look, I mean, even working in grocery, I don't know how many times I've mispronounced shit, and I just accept it. That's just how I'm going to say it.
I just let people, whatever. I'll respond to it. It doesn't matter.
With me today is, of course, Ms. Amber Schmidt. Hello, Amber.
Hello.
But it has been a while since we've been able to chat.
It's been a long time.
It has been. Of course, we met in good old, I believe we were talking about it earlier, OKDC.
Yes,
our
that's
kids'
it.
day camp.
Where it all began.
Yep. But I think even during that time, because I did kind of catch it off the top here about the theater, even back then, you were still, and I think you still are, a theater kid.
Oh, always will be.
Always will
yes.
be. And of course, when I bring up the acting, of course, I think, yeah, there is a difference, I guess, between theater actor and what people consider actors, I guess you could say.
Yes.
But even just the look on your face as I said that, there is a bit of a little tension usually between the two, I guess you could say, that one's mainstream gets a lot of attention, but I think there's probably, you'll see a lot of those actors go into theater because of their respect for the craft and whatnot.
Yeah, I think so. We see it a lot more now, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, Hugh Jackman made it cool, I guess you could say.
Yeah, well, of course. He makes everything cool.
I mean, if you can get Wolverine to go dancing around and sing, do a one-man show, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. I'd watch it.
Surprised you haven't. Have you gone? You've gone to Broadway shows. I
have not seen as many as I would like. I think The last one I saw was in 2008.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And which one was that?
Spring Awakening.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
How was that one?
That one was really good. It's one that I would love to do. But my theater will not.
No, just for...
It's a little, how do I put it? A lot of adult themes.
Oh.
If you want to put it that way.
Okay. It's a little more mature.
Yes, it's different. It's a little more rock music and things than your typical musical.
I mean, God, I don't think I've been to a Broadway show in since middle school.
I was going to say ever?
I have.
Okay,
Annie,
okay.
Get Your Gun. I went to see Annie, Get Your Gun, so...
My first Broadway show was Oklahoma.
I feel like that's like a very popular... All right, look, I'm not
classic.
gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. The only Broadway show I've been to is Annie Get Your Gun. Okay, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. It's only been Annie Get Your Gun. Though I will admit, based on how I grew up, I really want to see the Book of Mormon.
I also would really like to see it.
That one, that's on that's on the list of things that I want to see that one.
It's a very long list for me. I've
sure.
only seen Oklahoma and Spring Awakening. That's it.
Oh, that's it. All right, so yeah,
it's all right.
No judgment. You can't.
No. I've seen the movies of things,
Uh-huh.
or like the high school version of things, but I've never seen the classics like Bye Bye Birdie.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen any of those. Couldn't tell you what it's about. Not a clue.
It's not on your list of top priorities, I guess.
I get there when I get there. It's expensive, and not something I want to do by myself.
That's true. I mean, I'll go see the Book of Mormon by myself. I don't care.
All right, so I would make the exception for some things, but
yeah,
I'm not your typical theater person where like everyone's like, oh well, this actor is in this now, and I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess similarly, I look at it, I guess, with stand-up, it's kind of like in the same vein of like, there's the comics everyone knows and stuff, and then there's like, oh, no, this one's real good. I can't tell it. I would say it's almost like a racist thing, almost, but the guy's black. It's like, there's just one guy at work, and he sees me, man, you're going to be the next Kevin Hart, or some shit like that, and I just be like, and I just kind of like do that. And then I think the other day, he's like, you're going to be the next Eddie Murphy or something. I was like, dude, man, how...
We're just going to keep going through the list of all of them.
Like, how many black are you just going to go with all of them? Just don't go to Cosby on me here. That's it. I like to not be that.
Oh, boy.
But there's always those setups. Now, being there, you said you got your list of, shows you would like to do.
Mm-hmm.
I guess... you also... Now, what is the theater's name?
It's the Sullivan County Dramatic Workshop.
Sullivan County Dramatic Workshop. And that's usually in, was it Fallsburg?
South Fallsburg.
South Fallsburg.
Close.
The
Rivoli Theater in South Fallsburg. It was good.
And usually, what's your guys' season?
Well, usually, our first show at the theater is in May.
Mm-hmm.
And we have... throughout the summer, and then we end with our haunted theater tours in October. And then we do some sort of holiday show in December, and then usually a Valentine cabaret in February, somewhere other than the theater.
So it pretty much goes like all year, but with like breaks in between and stuff like that. And I think we were talking, originally I was like trying to figure out in my head before we met, I was like, is it bad if I say it's like 2 decades? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to do that. I was like, I'll say a decade and a half. And then when you said, it's like, oh, no. It's almost 2 decades that you've been doing it. What got you, I guess, into theater?
Well, I can remember in kindergarten, we were doing this, like a production of The Rainbow Fish. Did you ever read that book?
Oh, sounds familiar.
The fish got rainbow scales, and he like gives them away, and then he ends up with like one left or something. There's a lot more to it, but
I think that's the Reader's Digest version.
Yeah. So we were doing that, and everyone was the fish. And then me and two of my friends were the narrators. I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember we did it, and we did it on the stage in the elementary school in the cafeteria. And then the next thing I remember is at camp, at our kids, of course, being like a bird in Cinderella or something. But I realized that it was this year I realized that the first show I was actually in, the first musical, was 20 years ago in middle school, because they did the same show this year.
No.
That was their musical, was a show. First show I did 20 years ago was You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
So it all came full
It all
circle.
came together. Yep.
Oh, jeez.
And then a year after that is when I did my first show with the Sullivan County Dramatic Workshop. And that's where I've been. And then add a theater degree to it, and here we are.
True theater kid through and through.
That's it.
Look, I'll come clean. I was a theater kid at my early age, my early youth. I think going into middle school, because there was like acting classes that were being held for kids in like the area or something. So I was taking them. I know something happened where I think the guy got arrested for scams or some shit.
Okay.
Like,
well,
this is like years later that somebody like sent me the thing or something, some story, and I was like, oh, it's that guy.
Okay.
But
good.
And then of course, like we would have when you were in 5th grade in elementary school. Shout out Chase Elementary. The 5th graders would do a play or something like that, and or like the older kids. So I did it 4th and 5th grade and stuff like that. And then I've talked about Reader's Theater, where we got to write stories and then we would share them. And then that was my introduction to stand-up, I guess you could say, because I would do the voices, act up with the characters and stuff, and just make it.
You can't just read it.
No, you can't just do that. I was, like I said, I was a dramatic child.
What?
But I think the first like play I did was like Wizard of Oz, but what they did was like a mixture of Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland. So they had them together.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird, and
all right.
To show you how weird it was, my first role, and it was an ongoing theme that I was like, I'm always the villain in some.
Oh well.
Yeah, I know. It's not too surprising.
Some of us get typecast.
Yeah, some of us. Yeah, so I was always a villain, but in the first thing, I was. It's not even in it. I don't know if there's somebody who has the history of Alice in Wonderland and Wizard of Oz. Maybe you can tell me, but from my recollection, there was never a gangster beetle.
No, I remember one like Thumbelina. I think you could call
Looking
that.
back now, maybe they knew the woke movement was coming and they didn't want to make me a flying monkey. Being that I'm pretty sure one of the few minority kids actually in the
it's very possible. They were
very
thinking
possible.
ahead there.
Could have been this is problematic. We shouldn't do this. So maybe that was a safe bet. But I remember doing that, and I had created like a jig. It was my like middle school age moonwalk thing, but going like side to side. Yeah, it was. There what I don't know. There's a video. It should be destroyed.
There's a video somewhere.
That's something to ask Mama Tom and all that. That's.
I would love to see
I do
it.
not know if we still have those videos. I know I like the side step, but like I have my VHS cassettes right behind me here. So yeah, I'm still old. I'm an old man.
I still have all mine somewhere.
Yeah. But I remember doing those, and then we did. It's a little. I forget. It was the elephant with the short nose that ends up getting stretched out.
What?
It was like a kid's story or something. It was like the little elephant, but his nose wasn't too long, and somehow, like a crocodile gets it, and then he has to get pulled, and that's what stretches out, and that's. You don't remember this?
No, I've never heard this story.
God, I need to really look
when
up.
When you said elephant, I was thinking Dumbo, but like that is not Dumbo.
No, it's not Dumbo. It's not Dumbo. I forget exactly what that is. It is a children's book. I know it is. I just.
Okay.
I'm not. It's been about 30 years since I was a child.
I'm gonna Google it later.
Yeah, but it's a real one. So that was, and I was the snake in that one. And then the last one I did, I was
I guess you could say it's almost like a remake of like they never did like the full-on versions. They kind of did a special take of certain things. I think that's why
they
I
didn't
enjoyed
have to pay
it.
royalties.
Yeah. Well, this one, it was essentially The Grinch That Stole Christmas, but I was a hermit that lived under the bridge.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think it wasn't like beat for beat, but I forgot. God, it's been so long. But I do know it was like almost that scene where his heart grows several sizes.
I'm just, what I'm a little bit stuck on is I don't think there's a bridge anywhere in the story.
I know. This is why I said, look, I don't remember there being a gangster beetle.
This is like a troll under the bridge? Like what?
No, I was a hermit. I know that.
Okay.
I know I was the hermit because I had a hat and all that, and I had to like...
Okay.
That was like me being the lead for that play.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I was the main character. It was something about me changing my heart and shit and not being the grumpy hermit under the bridge. Which, you know, in hindsight, I guess that's what I grew up to be.
Well.
Yeah.
You've earned your grump.
No, I've earned my grump.
You've earned it.
I've been around. But no, it's always interesting. Like, I think for me, I just enjoyed acting at that time. And then as I got older, I was like, I like creating the stories more than doing that because I think it was just less expectations. Everyone was like looking at me to be like, oh, yeah, you're going to be one of the main performers in this. It's like, ah, fuck. All right, cool.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's like I think in 4th grade, I did it. And then 5th grade, everyone was expecting me to be the lead for that. And I remember I got in trouble, I think, with the principal or something because I slammed some kid's head against a chalkboard. Yeah, it was one of those.
It's all adding up.
Yeah. So everyone was expecting me. I was like, no, I'm going to work stage crew for this one. I'm not going to do it. That was like my quiet fuck you, I guess.
Still important.
Yeah. So, you switch it, but I think that's probably it. It's catching that childlike essence almost when you get to act and do that, I don't know if you do LARPing. You do
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
I do not.
I had to check to see how far down.
I've had this discussion with somebody who thinks that I would have a great time, but I don't improv.
Ah, okay.
I can't. I just can't do it. And I was with everybody. No, I can't do it. I'm too in my head. I need a script. I need to work on it for months.
So you'd be like one of those actors that if, I guess, is it Clint Eastwood or something that's like one take? You have the one take.
Oh, no. Please give me several. Give me several takes. But like I just don't improv very well. Things like that make me anxious.
I get that. I mean, you like to have a little structure, I guess.
Yes. Well, I'm also a stage manager.
Ah, okay.
So like I am always very familiar with the script, and that's how I prefer it to be.
Keep it all in order and whatnot, and that kind of have I guess you could say like a little OCD setup.
I mean, maybe.
I guess no. You know what? I'm asking the wrong person. I should ask the other people that you have to stage manage, and then we'll probably get the truth.
Shockingly, when I tell people, "Well, I'm your stage manager again," they get very excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's to your face, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. True. But there's an understanding, I think, between me and the people that I work with regularly. They understand how I function. It was sort of like at camp being a counselor. At some point, my girls understood what the rules were, what they could get away with, and what they couldn't. So, you'd know the difference between the ones who have been there for years and the ones who are new because they knew what they were doing, how they had to behave.
Nah.
It's sort of the same sort of thing is that they understand what I'm doing, what I want to get done. They understand the rules of how you behave in a theater.
Yeah, you see how you stress that rules right there? Yeah,
yes,
okay.
The proper etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
And they understand that at some point I'm going to get stressed out and I might yell at them, but I don't mean it. And later on I go, sorry, guys. And they go, our fault, my bad. And we move on.
Do you find yourself enjoying that stage manager role more, or do you like just being the performer?
It depends.
Depends.
Usually over the last however many years, since I came back from college at least, I have usually been stage managing and almost always also been in the show at the same time, whether because somebody dropped out, we needed a small part, or just because that's just how it happened. So that part I kind of like that I get to do both. It's a little more stressful, but I like that I get to do both of those things. And then this past summer that just happened, we did Little Mermaid, and I was just an actor, no stage manager. I just had to go do my stuff and leave, and it was kind of nice.
Way less stress.
A little bit. All I had to worry about was getting my song right and getting my lines right, and but at the same time, sometimes not having that control in what's happening is like, there were some rehearsals that I was like, can we like get a grip on what's happening here?
You see how things should be going.
Yes.
And it's taking yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
It's that battle of like, I don't want to be a control freak or something. I don't want to be thought of as that. It's just like, no, but I know we need to do
but
it.
But I also know this is wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, so there's that part of it, but sometimes it's nice to have to focus on one thing. But the control thing gets you there. It's a little stressed out.
Oh, trust me, I know that. This podcasting and pretty much everything I do.
Yeah.
It's like that. I see that working grocery, and sometimes I'll just be there. Joe is like, I don't have a boss. I don't have a manager. I was like, go talk to your manager to do that. They know not, just leave me alone. Just let me do my thing. I want to do it. You don't have to worry about it.
It'll get done.
Mm-hmm. But if you bug me, then you have risks. Don't worry. It's not like it was when I was at camp. Okay.
Oh my God. Those are good days.
Sorry, I'm not pinching people's cheeks and lifting them in the air.
Oh my God. It hurts so much.
Oh God, I would have been canceled.
More sweaty hats on people's heads, you know.
Oh yeah, you know.
Disgusting.
Yes. No shame.
Nope, that's fine. We all loved you for it.
Yeah, for some reason. Nah, the lovable asshole that I could be.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's why. Sure.
I did see that. Yeah.
That's it. Nah, that was my college shirt. All that. But you did go and you said you did theater.
Yeah.
So fully embracing the theater kid life.
Absolutely.
How did that compare? Because I always, in talking, is like, or I guess recently I came to the conclusion, it's like, the only time I was not in high school was when I was in college for some reason. And I describe that in a sense of like, all right, so I went to college. That was my first time being free. I was just doing stuff and all that. And then I come back into, quote unquote, the real world. And it's like, oh, okay, everything's like high school again. There's all the little cliques. There's all the little groups. Like when you get into the workplace and all that, I was like, this is a fucking high school.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you can say that about any job. It's like, oh, everyone's talking about, did you hear about it? It's like that. Where in college, I didn't really have those issues and stuff like that as much. But, you know, being a theater kid. I was going to say, in the theater department, I knew a couple of theater kids when I was in Cortland. I was pretty cool with and all that, but I could sense it's always on the edge of some drama could happen. I was like, you guys are taking, I know, drama department, but let's not embrace the name.
You know, and it's interesting because there was drama. This person did this person got this person's directing this, and they shouldn't be, blah, 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 blah. But the most drama that I had, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? Was actually outside of the theater department.
Oh.
It was actually in all the other organizations I was in, because I was in like student government and student entertainment services and the radio station and whatever.
Just Captain University over here.
Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, I found my calling and I went with it. That was where most of the drama was, actually.
Oh yeah, well, just says student government.
I know.
Gee, I don't know how could that have happened?
I just missed like the big drama that had happened when I joined, but like I heard all about it. But there was plenty more after that. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, there was stuff in the drama department, but it wasn't anything that was like, oh my God, I got to get out of here kind of thing.
I feel like, though, even with that drama, it was probably, I don't know, any drama I had in like college, it was always like maybe at a high peak, but it would drop off real quick. It wasn't as long lingering as some other shit. It was just like, oh, okay.
There were a couple things that lasted a long time. I remember because it's called Student Entertainment Services, and basically we ran the nightclub on campus. So we set up the coffee house every Thursday, Friday and Saturday, other events. We took care of Spring Fest, all the big entertainment things that happened were basically done by us. Like we had the biggest budget of any SGA group, whatever. And I remember the president sat me, and I don't remember what he was maybe he was vice president. I don't know, whatever he was doing at the time. And she put us in a room together in one of the offices. And she was like, you guys need to figure this shit out. And you're not leaving here until you do. So we did. And then we lived together, and that was a mistake. And then it all just came back. And then by the time we hit spring semester, maybe like February, March, we weren't even talking to each other. But,
that's a different type of.
Well, yeah, that's all other thing. But but that was the biggest thing. Everything else in the drama department, we either talked it out or we worked together when we had to, and then that was it.
Do you have a favorite performance that you've done?
Like over all the time or college, or what are we talking here? Because that depends.
Oh, that depends. Oh,
that'll change it.
All changes. All right. Well, I'll put it this way. What was your most satisfying, I guess, performance or something?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I've over the last several years, I've become not better, but like I think that I've grown a lot in my performance ability. So I tend to be proud of myself a lot more than I used to be. Mm-hmm. But one of them I think was Little Mermaid this year. I was Flounder. Okay, yeah, right. There you go.
That's too easy. I'll just let that one slide.
Uh-huh. It has become very clear over the last 2 decades that I'm not the ingenue. I'm not the Disney princess. I'm not, I'm a character actor. I get to be the sidekicks and the, whatever. So Flounder for me was actually a lot of fun. I didn't have a lot of lines. I really wasn't on stage a lot. But everything just sort of clicked into place. And I think that as we were getting closer, I was probably the most prepared, one of the most prepared of the people in the cast. I don't know why, but even my song, I know I missed a few notes here and there, but like I did it. I was very proud of myself. Like that is not written for me. It was written for like a young boy, or like a soprano, which I am not. So I was pretty proud of myself for that one. And I think I'd also have to say Nevermore, which we did 4 years ago.
And what's
It's
that?
a musical. The full title is Nevermore, The Imaginary Life and Mysterious Death of Edgar Allan Poe. So it's all the songs, everything. It's all his life from beginning to end. And a lot of them are based on his poetry and just whatever. But that one, they have it could be anywhere from 7 actors to 40 something, depending on how you cast it. So I had to play probably, I think 4 or 5 different things.
Oh, you had to costume change, switch to this character.
Oh my God. It was either taking your shirt off and putting a skirt on, taking your skirt off, putting a shirt, whatever. It was back and forth. I was so hot the whole show. But it was player 5. It's like these players in a troupe that meet Edgar and they kind of show him all these parts of his life and this whole thing. It was very good.
Almost like Christmas Carol-esque.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
And then the players are supposed to play the other characters as I go through
As
things.
it goes through.
So I was, player 5, plus I was, his cousin that he marries, and I was also this one and also that one. So I remember there was a scene where I had to get changed real fast. I had to be his cousin, I had to be Sissy, and then I had to die. Spoiler alert. Then I had to die, change real quick while the men sang like a 1 minute little thing and then come back out and talk about that character dying, because normally that I wouldn't be playing that. It was just she figured I'd be the most comfortable with that actor marrying him, because we've been married in many shows before.
No.
So we're always married, basically.
Oh, so you have a theater husband.
Yes, I do. And his wife loves me. I'm always her favorite. But it was just, having to do that and then come right back out and talk about me dying in like a totally different character. And it was a lot of fun. It was a show that I would do again and again and again. And the couple of the dances we did, and one other person and I made up ourselves, because we were like, we need something here. So we just made up a dance. Like, I'm not a dancer.
Yeah.
But we did it. So it was just...
Hey, that's how I got my jig as the gangster beetle.
There you go.
I don't dance. No one catches me. They've only recently caught me, and that was at weddings. That's the only place you will see.
You have to.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, you have to.
Well,
I dance at weddings.
I'd be lying if I said the open bar didn't have something to do with that. That's probably why, but,
That's the key.
Now, can't do that when you're on stage acting, or you shouldn't.
No. Do not drink and act.
That's a no-no.
That's a no-no.
But, Amber, you did talk about, I guess, some of, your seasonal events, over at the theater. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will talk about some of those things.
On the podium was tops the best thing I've ever done. Won, to be honest with you. I won a racing chair. I mean, the biggest 15K in the road I raced in. And that used to be my number one thing that I was so proud of myself. But that's number two now. Just because me racing and being I was just saying this, being a minority in a circuit where you don't see that. And you're like, wow. You're like, I actually made it. I'm with the rest of everybody. I'm right there with you guys, but I just need a little bit more work. It's just gives you that feeling and that nervous feeling at the same time, because it's now all eyes are on you. Who cares about the two other people? They've been there a couple times, a handful of times. Now you're the new person on that podium. Now they're gonna be keeping an eye on you. Are you gonna make the next podium? Are you gonna be doing this now? So it's more. I'll say this. When I won my first medal, it was more eyes on me than anything. Because now, all right, who is this person? We never seen him before. He races 1 year and he comes back the next year and wins a medal. No, that's not supposed to happen, but it did.
Raise Up Smash Therapy is nestled nicely in its space in the Bronx, New York, and highlights that sometimes the best things are the simplest. In the waiting room, you'll get the chance to hang out and suit up in some protective gear before you enter your quote-unquote therapy session. Whether it's a bat, golf club, or whatever the staff may have lined up for you for that day, don't be afraid to let loose and go a little crazy on all that breakable stuff that will be nicely lined up for you for your therapy session. And much like the establishment itself, Raise Up has 2 smash rooms with their own unique aesthetic, highlighted by the graffiti art and albums scattered throughout that show Raise Up's ties with the city it was raised in.
And welcome back. Tommy Tom here, and I hope you guys have been enjoying this episode. I am, of course, here with theater aficionado extraordinaire, theater mom, theater wife, Miss Amber Schmidt.
Plenty of those.
Many titles.
Yeah.
You just put theater in front of it.
Those are pretty good ones.
Yeah.
I like this.
I'm sure some of them, theater bitch will.
I am a stage manager.
Yep, stage manager.
Yes.
I'm sure that won't come
Listen,
about.
if your cast doesn't think you're being a bitch, you're not stage managing right.
That's how you do it. But before the break, you did kind of mention a little bit of some of the seasonal things that you do. I believe you brought up Valentine's Day, your horror nights or something like that. So I was wondering maybe to tell a little of some of these things that you guys have been doing for the last couple of years or number of years, I guess, decades.
Several.
In your case.
Several. Yeah, so usually in February we will have a Valentine's cabaret. It's all love songs or not so much love songs, depending on how people are feeling.
Oh.
I believe one year it was called Love Songs and Not. Some anti-love in there. So that I believe they are doing this year, maybe a little bit different. They're still sort of working out the details of where, because the theater is closed right now. We always do some sort of holiday show. We've been doing a lot of radio shows, Miracle on 34th Street, It's a Wonderful Life, Christmas Carol. This year we did a little different. We had holiday karaoke instead, which was a lot of fun. There were a lot of people there. It was at a Forage and Gather in Mountaindale.
Oh, okay.
So that was a lot of fun. And then
did you have a holiday karaoke go to?
I did not sing.
Come on, theater girl.
I don't do karaoke.
Oh.
They have now got me to do it twice. They have karaoke on Friday nights at the Dale. And they've got me to do it a couple times. Normally I just drink and watch. But I did not do anything this year. There's some good stuff. There's some very talented people around. And then, of course, every year we also have our haunted theater tours in October. So we turn the entire theater, upstairs, auditorium, basement into big old haunted house. Every room has its own sort of theme, or upstairs this year had a theme, basement had a theme. Usually I'm in the very first room that you go to. They call it my room. It's Amber's room. Sometimes people can't even make it up the stairs into my room because they're already creeped out by whatever I'm doing. Nobody seems to like it when I sing, apparently. It's creepy.
So that's your horror thing. Okay, so you know what? I guess the not liking karaoke thing kind of makes sense there. It's all coming together.
Yeah, one person one year said that they trusted me until I started singing, and then they didn't trust me anymore after that. But yeah, so this year I was in the auditorium little room, and I was the queen of hell. That was my job.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead, say it.
Yeah.
Typecast? Yeah.
Hey, as a typecast villain, I got nothing to say.
Right? So that's usually a lot of fun, and every year is different. We never do anything the same. So I encourage everyone to see if they can make it all the way through, because some do not.
No, some do not.
We got to turn the lights on, get them out. And this year they had closing walls and...
You guys just go all out for...
Yes.
You say that's probably like one of you guys' bigger events, or...
That I think is one that... See, because we have to put it together. We have to start earlier, but also put it together quickly because we always have a show in September on the stage.
Oh.
So if we're not using that set, we got to take that apart, get it set up, and then so usually the basement and upstairs sort of get done first, and the producer, director, Dawn Pernisi, is like the horror queen. I mean, I'm telling you right now, she already has ideas for what she wants to do next year. I've talked to her about what I'm doing. Like, we've already started talking about it.
It's already set.
But that is one of our most popular shows. I guess that is what, I mean, people will come back. They'll come to it and they'll come back the next night. They'll do it again that night. They'll keep doing it and they'll pay every time. In the past, there was one year when the police showed up because they were concerned. They heard a lot of screaming. So
I was like,
because we're down the street from the police department. So.
I was going to say, was this planned or not planned?
Yeah, it was. So I mean, they've shown up before. Like,
there's a killer in the theater.
Yeah, right. And they're
so
like,
yeah, sure, buddy. Wow,
yeah.
Now that I know, so is that close? All right.
Yeah. I mean, there was one year they were chasing somebody, and they thought maybe they came in there, and it was we've had some interesting times, but I mean, I don't know if you could this year because I wasn't outside, but there were years where you can hear it from down the road.
Oh yeah.
Coming into South Falls, where you hear the thunder and the lightning and the whatever else, you see all the lights on it. I mean, it's a big thing, and it's one of our best.
Yeah. So I guess that one gets a lot of attention, a lot of the big ones and all that. Seems, the Valentine's one, a little less. I have no problems with that. My least favorite holiday. And do you guys have, I guess you can say kind of like a time where you have a main show for the year or something? Is there ever
yeah.
All right, this is the one that we're going to do for this year. All this other stuff we're doing, this is going to be the big show, I guess you could say?
So, I mean, our season, like I said, we start in May, and so every month has a show that we consider the main stage. They take place in the auditorium on the stage.
Yeah.
And then every year there's also the musical.
Oh, okay.
So we do the big musical every year, but I mean every show is a main stage show for us. It's just a matter of if it's actually there or somewhere else.
So I say Little Mermaid was that for
yes,
last
Little
year?
Mermaid was our musical this past year. Sometimes we have 2 musicals. It just depends how much we want to torture ourselves.
And how do you all I guess come to the decision, or is there like somebody that stage manager is there somebody that like kind of has the picks for shows and
So what they do is, there is a board of directors, and everyone is free to present a show and say, I think we should do this. Generally, it's best if it comes with a director already who wants to do it. Because we've run into that where we have a show we want to do, and it's a great show, but no one to direct it. So that is where it's a little bit of that, and then a little bit of trying to figure out, well, we tried this year, it didn't quite work. Let's try something else here. So like we've been doing a 10-minute play festival the last few years, and instead of picking from published works, we reach out and we ask for original works to do for that. So that's the last 2 years. There's a reading committee for that to read through we're talking this year we got over 100.
Oh.
And one of them that we did is Australia, like all over the place. Some local, of course. So that's kind of how we figured that one out. That's good, so let's keep doing that and showcase the writers that we have in the area. And then again, it's just people saying, we did this and this didn't do so well, so maybe we should try something different this month. Or like next year we've moved the musical so that, the college kids can do it. So that, because right now the musical opens like in the middle of when they're going back to school.
No,
so we moved it so that those college kids can actually be in it.
Yeah, okay.
So that's what a lot of it is, just kind of talking about who wants to do what and what's going to be best for us.
I think because you were talking about doing, I guess, original pieces and stuff, those ones. That sounds interesting. Also kind of giving writers a chance, because as a writing major, I understand that. Trust me, most of your jobs is for that are editing jobs. Like I think I went for a professional writing major. I realized that, went into communications, realized I was probably the most desired person, because none of those communication kids wanted to write. None of them like to write. I was like, I'll write the script. I got that. And I just do that in my sleep.
And look, we got some that were like, no, but these are really great shows that we got, and a lot of them did come from local playwrights, and yes, it's also free to do them, so that's nice. But like,
doesn't hurt. That's
a plus to it, But a few of the ones I was in were written by local people, and they're pretty good, and sometimes they get chosen to go to festival.
That's it, because it also gives that opportunity to some people. Because I know, just in my own writing experience, it's like I probably have lists of like hundreds of stories or ideas that I have, and it's like as I got older, I was like, these all don't work as like a story.
Right.
Some of these would be better for a script. Some of these would be better for maybe a graphic novel or something like that. So you gotta kind of pick and choose and all that. But it's also finding the right opportunities with that. So, and when you see an opportunity, you gotta kind of just take it.
Yeah.
Usually, most people are a little hesitant with that sometimes, because it's almost putting yourself out there, so it's a step out of your comfort zone and stuff like that.
Because there's always that chance that someone's gonna say no.
Yeah. Or say no, or it'll be like, what the fuck is this?
Yep. I have ideas for scripts, but I'm not a writer, so I can't write them. But
Yeah, because requires a little of organizing thoughts. I can't tell you the number of people, because I'm known to write. They'll be like,
Yeah.
Dude, a number of times I think in my life somebody's been like, I have this story idea. I got this idea that I want to do. I'm like, all right. And my response, or even when I started doing stand-up, was like, I think I can do this. Like, so what's your advice? I was like, just do it. just
yeah,
do
okay.
it, you know? Because it's usually just a lot of talking, I guess you could say, with a lot of those things. So when you do have those opportunities, definitely take them. So I think that's pretty cool that you guys, there's another avenue. Sure, it's small town, whatever you want to say, but any opportunity you get to, one, you get that experience, and two, it like builds up the confidence and stuff like that. So,
and people can submit, I mean, they can submit plays to us anytime. I'm not promising that we're going to do them, but if, you know, they come to us and someone says, wow, I really like this, you know, there is a chance that it may be part of the next season, or maybe they're going to do it as, you know, as a special thing or a reader's theater type thing. We've done that, you know, a few times with things. So just want to send it to us. Somebody will see it.
Yeah. It's just taking that chance, taking that little risk, you know. I think I've said that about a couple of my friends, where it's like, I'm not the funniest of my friends. I'm just the one who, with the least sense of self-respect, I guess. That's why I can go on stage and just be like, yeah, I don't care. It's like, no, I'm already screwed up enough in life. I have no, what is, oh, you're not funny. Okay, cool.
Oh, boy.
That's the least offensive thing that's said about me, so I can deal with that.
I mean, it's like auditioning. You know, 9 times out of 10, I may not get that part, or I'm totally wrong for it, but I did it just in case. You never know.
Yeah, you never know what could happen. You know? None of us are psychic.
No.
Sometimes you may think so, but, you know, you gotta...
You're not.
But I know you stage manage and, you know, you act in some of these things. Give us any, like, previews of maybe some of the things we can see the Schmidt.
Well, actually, next year's musical is Oliver.
Ah.
And I am stage managing. I mean, I told her, I told her I wanted to be the rose seller. I said, listen, if I'm going to be in it, that's all I want. It's one little song here and done. But so I'm stage managing that. Auditions are coming up, I think, in February. I don't know.
They'll pop up.
They're coming up. And then I was also just cast in, it's called The Play That Went Wrong. So it's this troupe, they're putting out a play and everything goes wrong.
So is this a documentary?
Yeah. No, thankfully. But it's a very funny show, and you know, as she was telling me about the part that I would be playing, I was like, man, I don't get to do any of this stuff ever usually, and now I get to do it.
No.
So I get to do a little stage combat, I get to, you know, push through a revolving door and all this stuff, and I'm very excited for that one. It's very funny. So those are coming up this summer.
Yeah. 2023.
2023. So Oliver will be in July, and The Play That Went Wrong is in August. I don't remember the rest of the season.
No, little previews for the next Halloween.
Oh, no, I don't know yet.
No, don't know. Okay.
See,
I don't want to get you in trouble for...
All I know is I requested that I am in the same room with the dragon. There's a dragon. So...
All right.
I don't know, because you never know what's going to happen, or she may change her mind and put me in the maze. I don't know. So...
Well, Amber, I guess I'd like to close with a little, like, I guess you can say, like, a little, I don't think it's a questionnaire. It's more of like a little thing. Can't think of the proper term. I'll come up with it later on or something.
Okay.
It's pretty much, it's almost like a word association kind of thing, like what comes to mind.
Oh, no. Here's where I get myself in trouble.
Oh, this is where you get yourself in trouble? Yeah,
possibly.
It's all right. No, it's very simple. It's very simple. Like I'm wondering what would be your biggest acting influence or something, or theater influence. You had one. Or is it just I'm just about me? Right.
This is So I don't want to say it like that. No, this is where I'm like not your regular theater person because like I don't know. Mm-hmm. I just know that I have spent a lot of my life, my theater life, the last 2 decades, watching other people do things that I want to be able to do. And at some point I had to just kind of say, so just do it. Just do it. And I remember I was taking audition techniques. Didn't do very well. Mm. But then I sat in on it a second time just because he saw me in the hallway and he was just like, come on, come sit in class, come hang out. I was like, all right, well, I'm not doing anything. And then he said, well, you can't just hang out, you gotta do something. So he gave me picked a monologue, and one of the section they were working on was the Robertson technique, which is how to cry basically without. You don't want to always dig deep on like thinking about your dog dying and all this other stuff, but this is muscle memory on how to get yourself to cry without, so you can control it. Mm. And I didn't quite get it the first time around. This time I was working with him before like the final, and he looked at me and said, you got it. And I was like, oh, thank God.
I was gonna say you're just expressing every guy's nightmare and what we truly believe, that it's all just it's all fake. You guys have been learning this shit.
I would never use it for ill will, only on stage.
You're only saying that because there's no camera right now to actually catch the smile and laughter on your face as you say those words or stuff. No, never. I would never use my acting skills for such evil, heinous acts. Wink, wink, wink.
I am an angel. I would never. But you know, that was when I kind of said, you know what, maybe I can do this. And that's kind of what got me to just do it.
I guess on that same line, if you could explain, because all right, let me put it this way. Let's face it, theater kids have a stigma about them.
Sure do.
There is a thought. There's there's plenty that I won't share my
okay.
For my own knowledge and all that. You know, that maybe I'll put on the OnlyFans. But what would you say to somebody that was maybe like hesitant to kind of put themselves out there on stage and stuff like that? Because, you know, there is that nervousness or something like that. But you can see that there's a desire, but like I said, there is a kind of stigma about the quote-unquote theater kid. It's like, oh God, there goes those theater kids right now.
Oh, weirdos.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I will say that we are weirdos, but you know what? We're fun weirdos, and this is a place where we could all be weirdos together. And and this is the thing, is that we're also all so different. We all love this thing, and we love doing it, but we are very different people outside of there. And a lot of us don't hang out outside of being at the theater because it's just how it is. But I think if you want to do it, just do it. Start small, be in an ensemble, get to know people, get to kind of see how it works. And then if you have a good time and you like it, keep doing it. Try for a part, maybe ask for a couple lines here and there or whatever it is. I mean, that's how I started. I was always in the ensemble. And then from there, it just kind of grew, and now here we are. I'm Flounder in Little Mermaid, you know. I mean, of course, there's a stigma for everything.
But, no, I know that.
You know, but if you want to do it, if it's something that interests you, then just do it. But start small, a little community theater.
I think part of the reason I enjoy stand up and like doing it, and like I have no delusions of grandeur, like all those fucking Kevin Hart comments and shit like that. It's more so it takes me back to those readers' theaters and all that when I was, you know, going back to being a kid when all this adult shit didn't really.
It's an escape.
Yes, that's it. It's that escape thing of just like enjoy these moments, because some points you're just gonna be like. Because when you're not on stage and all that, it's like, oh, God, fuck, reality.
Real life.
Oh, no.
Yep. That's it. And if it's a nerves, I still get nervous every show that I do, no matter how much I've rehearsed. And I will tell you 100% that when I'm waiting to go out on stage at the beginning of a show, I will tell you, I don't know what my lines are. I cannot tell you my first line until I get out there and I say it and I'm good to go. But I don't know what it is in those moments before the show actually starts. A professor told us that they're not butterflies. They're charging rhinos.
Huh.
And just use that energy and just get out there and do it.
Yeah, it is that go out and do it, just do it kind of thing. Because the longer you stress or ponder about
worse
something,
it's gonna be.
It's like you got to take yourself out of it, which is,
it's hard.
Yeah, but I mean, those are all like universal ideas that you do for anything. Like, I think that was like part of the thing that like disheartened me in the writing program, where I was like, oh, I'm just gonna be editing papers and shit like this and all that. And why I enjoyed the communications, because it was like, all right, I'm having fun.
Here we go, we're doing this.
But it was like, I also came with a thing of like, you know what? Sometimes you shouldn't do what you actually love and enjoy for money. Because it kind of taints it sometimes, and like it's a chore. Yeah. That's probably like what you said with the Little Mermaid. You didn't have to be stage manager for that, so it's like. You got to just sit back, enjoy, and all that. It's like, oh, this is, oh.
Oh, is it my turn? Great. Oh, we're done. Can I go home? Great.
Yeah. You don't have,
Yeah.
And I've definitely had those. I mean, that's why I kind of stopped producing live shows, because I was like, this is stressful, and there's no reward. There's no reward. I'm always going to be the asshole here.
Yep.
Something.
I mean, I've been paid to do theater once. No. And that was recently. Like in October. So like that's the first time I've ever been paid to do it. And it's nice. But that's not why I do it. And it wasn't a lot. What I got paid essentially paid for my gas driving back and forth to Narrowsburg,
Yeah. You gotta always have that thing for yourself. But Amber, I've kept you here I think long enough, and I can hear my heater going up, so it's about to become a
before my car gets towed.
Yeah, gotta take care of that. But, as I usually do with all these, if you have anything you want to plug, maybe the theater, and if you have any of your social that you want to do, I don't know if you want to put yourself out there like that.
I mean, look, you can follow me all you want, but it's not exciting. It's all pictures of food on Instagram and like my new puppy. Like this, that's it. But yeah, it's the Sullivan County Dramatic Workshop. It's scdw.net, and we're on Facebook and I think Twitter and Instagram and I don't know. I think that's it. Those are the big ones. And just keep an eye on those, and we'll advertise the season and auditions and all those sorts of things, and hopefully we'll see you at the theater. I'll certainly be there.
All that fun stuff. And of course, I'll get those links, put them in the description of this podcast and all that. And of course, boys and girls, if you would like to follow me, you can do so at the Tommy Tom 88 on Twitter. I believe that's still going. And then
for now,
Tommy Tom P 88 on Instagram. And of course, you guys, thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you, Amber, for joining me for this episode.
Well, thank you for having me. It's good to see you.
Yes, it was good times. But we'll catch you all next time.